Hello again, everybody. Yeah, I'm a Republican. I love my President Trump. Yesterday was a victory for the Republicans. It was a defeat for the liberal pukes. Let me tell you why. Yesterday, Nancy Pelosi and the rest of her politician friends decided, they voted to impeach my president. And everybody knew it was coming anyway. They made up everybody knows the backdrop. It's not even worth talking about. But my President Trump, who is not a politician, of course you can say now he's a politician because he's been in office over 3 years. Well, just less than 3 years. He was sworn in, so it'll be 3 years in January. So, yeah, they need to get that through their head. But Nancy Pelosi is probably one of the biggest losers of this whole thing. They made her sober up for one thing, and that's what probably threw her off. Drunk Nancy and all that. That shit's real, by the way. They made her sober up. And, of course, the squad, the 4 un-American freshman Congress women, which complete idiots. And, by the way, they hate this country, They hate America, but they're in Congress. So, go figure. Yeah. So, anyway, Pelosi and Schumer decided, well, you know what, let's go after Trump. We've been wanting him before he got elected. Before the man was even elected. They wanted him when he got the nominee for the Republican candidacy for the president of this flag right here. This flag, see this flag? Beautiful flag. Means a lot to me. Means a lot to a lot of people, but it don't mean shit to Democrats. It don't mean shit to Tlaib, AOC. It don't mean shit to none of them. They hate this country. So they decided they was gonna, what was that word she said? Let's FUCKING impeach him? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, she said that. And everybody knows she said it. But let me go back. Let me get back on target here. My president will finally have his day in court, which is what the Senate is, by the way. The liberal Congress, they attacked my president and they pretty much indicted him. Okay, you've done this, you've done that. We can't prove it. We're relying on old circus tactics or old, we got smoke and mirrors here. We're gonna, we run the media because most all your media, for the matter of fact, except Fox News, is on our side. So they're gonna make everything look bad against the president. And for the most part, they've succeeded because people, I don't want y'all to be offended when I say this, but for the most part, I would say half of America doesn't care. The other half that does care, about 25% of them aren't that smart. So they follow. They don't have the gumption to do any kind of background checks. If you're an employer, you do background checks. Well, they just believe everything they see and everything they hear. So if the television, especially if you just don't have cable or nothing, if the news is telling you every night, Trump did this, Trump did that, Trump. You're probably much going to believe it. And if you vote, then, you have to think for yourselves in this country. You can't just be like an ostrich and bury your head under sand. You have to get up. I say that because, especially at a time like this, we're talking about our country, the democracy of a republic. And by the way, a lot of people don't know that. This is a republic. This is a democracy of the republic. So that's why you have Democrats and Republicans. You have a democracy of the republic. Mr. Trump was a businessman. And yes, I know. Back in the day, he built things. And yes, he's lost money. But he was able to use his brains and be one of the best businessmen out there. And what I want out of a president when he came along was just that idea. Let's get the deficit down. Let's barter with these nations because we owe so much money. China owns us. If China ever, hey man, come here. I got this tab. It's man, it's like almost $1 trillion US, bro. Plus the VIG, come on, man, come on. This is China talking, we're gonna call you in on this. Well, you know what my president did? My president said, you know what? Yes, we might owe you that money, but you owe us tenfold of that because we accept your goods into our country and most of their goods, as well as I do, they use it one time, but trade deficit is so pathetic. Through the Obama administration and even the Republicans before Trump, and don't get me started on Clinton and his wife. Don't get me started. Donald Trump has taken this country in the past 3 years and has steered it in the right direction for generations to come. He has done more good for this country than any career politician could ever do. And Donald Trump is not a politician. He just saw that he didn't solve. He wanted to help this country. The man doesn't need anything from anybody. He's fine. He lives a great life. He just wanted to share his great life and his great life experiences to try to help this country. And what does he get? Impeached. Why did he get impeached? Because he's not a career politician. Schumer, Pelosi, all the rest of them, they're so pathetic. They can't even take care of their own constituents. The West Coast is filled with people crapping in Safeways and living on the street. Even the people that have been there 30, 40 years running businesses, they want to get out. They can't believe what has happened under the Democrats' watch on the West Coast. And it goes on and on in other places too. It does. The point I'm trying to make tonight, I babble. I have a right to. I'm an American. And I love my President Trump. They have impeached my president, and I cannot stand for that. I have to, but if the Senate goes by the law, which hopefully they do, because the Congress didn't. The Congress did whatever the hell they wanted to do. The Senate, I'm not saying they're going to fix things because nothing's fixable. What's happened to my president is always going to be a part of his presidency. Pelosi's not going to say, "Oh, my bad. We were just kidding. We just wanted to throw that thing up in your face and we just wanted to impeach you and blah blah." It's not like that. They are so arrogant, and a liberal is basically useless. A liberal is basically useless because they only think as a liberal. They cannot see. They have this box, that tunnel vision, and that's what it is. They can't. A Republican, we want to hear everything you got to offer. If you've got a great idea, it doesn't matter. Let's hear it. And we will listen to you and say, well, yeah, let's do that. But a Democrat, a far left Democrat, you can't tell them nothing. Their mind's made up. Impeach the mother frecker. How class and act is that? And that was from a congresswoman that hates this country. And I'm not worried about myself, like I said before. But my kids are all grown. They're in their 30s. But they have my grandchildren. And I am so worried about my grandchildren and the life that they're growing up in. This diseased life. Thank God all of us live in an area where we're pretty much protected by the love of our neighbor. The love of your neighbor means a lot. Now, unless you're in Detroit or Chicago, then pretty much your neighbor's probably trying to kill you. But, I mean, then there you go. Liberal communities. So, let me get off that. I'm sorry. All of a sudden, I'm a racist. Okay. Whatever. My President Trump I voted for Ronald Reagan. I was at that age right there, 18 years old, Ronald Reagan. I was 18, Ronald Reagan. Voted for him. Boom! Greatest thing that ever came along to this country. Reaganomics. Not very many people remember that, but I do. He swept this country up and he took us out of that shit that we were in. That the Democrats and Jimmy Carter were in. Yeah, remember that? Remember Jimmy Carter? Yeah, I'm sure you do. But anyway. And then, we've had ups and downs. That's what a country does. But this president of mine, Donald Trump, believes in every star on this flag. He loves all Americans. Every one of us he loves. He's just trying to fix everything. And he's done such a great job that he's hated. He is hated. He was hated from day one because he's not part of the establishment. He is not part of the establishment. I love you, Donald Trump. I love you, sir. You're going to be fine. We need you, baby. We need you for this flag right here. We need my President Donald Trump. And if the Senate sees fit, they'll keep him in office. I didn't say if the Senate was wise. I didn't say if the Senate could see their fucking ass. I cussed, so it's probably going to be cut out. But anyway, look at the facts. Look at the history of the Democrats. And just, realize that Donald Trump is the best thing that's happened in this country in a very long time. I don't want to attack a black person, but Obama, he came out of the presidency after 8 years, multi-millionaire. You want me to get started on the Clintons, Clinton Foundation, how crooked they are? Anyway, peace be with you. I just had to share my thoughts.